participation level is pretty high, and is for use for both large and small groups, and you can actually use it for preteens right up to adults. Games level of participation is medium. Um, Good for both large, sorry, more appropriate for small groups, although you can use it for both groups. And then you can use it with any age group. Okay, I'm looking at the time here as well. Gapped handout is what you got today. Okay, and high level of participation because you're hopefully writing and filling in the gaps because you have to listen to be able to do it. Um, and it's again, you can use it for any group, whether it's large or small. I wouldn't include primary because of their ability, but the rest of the age group can you can use gap handout. Group work, high level of participation, again, used with large groups. Now, in terms of age groups, personally, I feel it's more appropriate for the teens and for adults. But I don't know if any of you use that for lower age groups. Anybody?
I do. We do.
You have?
Yeah. We do a lot of group work. And then
Okay.
with age and year training, obviously with their ability.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, that's good. So there's no hard and fast rules. Yeah. What we're saying is it might be more appropriate for a particular age group or a particular group, but there's no reason why you can't try it on other groups, provided they are able to with it. All right. Homework, everybody, maybe except for the preteens. Okay, and it's for all groups, small, big, everything. Instruction, again, it depends. The level of participation may be low or high. If you're just giving an instruction and they're not doing anything about it, because you can't give instructions even on the paper, and if the person doesn't follow the instruction to do anything with it, then the participation is low. Whereas if they actually you're instructing and people are following and doing something with it, then the participation is high. Yeah, and again, it's for all age groups and for big and small groups. Interviewing, medium level of participation, and I think I've given an example of how it's a conversation where questions are asked and answered during a teaching session on Joseph, for example, and his brothers. You can actually ask one person to pretend to be Joseph, and during the session, another student interviewed Joseph how he felt when the brothers put him in the pit, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's good. It's not just for trying to get a job or anything. Praise God. And then you have the listening team. And
its voice.
She's froze.
Lost everyone. On System 1 was frozen, but everybody is kind of sitting waiting. Oh, we can hear her now. Yeah.
What is it?
She's frozen.
One moment.
Yeah, they lost the connection with her.
Yeah.
Hi. I lost you for a minute.
Hello?
What's happening?
We can hear
I
you.
can't see you.
Right, can you see me now? We lost contact. Okay, because of time, what I'll do, I'll leave the rest of the
Oh, you're back.
Hi.
okay. I said because of time, you got the information on what the rest of them are. Okay, because of time, I'll move on for us to look at the factors and that, so that we don't miss out on them because the time is going. Yeah? You can work through the rest. You got the books and that you bought, and it should give you enough information to work through and put the necessary ticks on them. Yes? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kate Bretton from Sunderland. I do have a couple of questions for you, is that alright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pardon?
I have a couple of questions for you, is that alright?
Yeah. Does it relate to this?
Yes.
Because we still got the rest of the sessions to do. We got.
Right. Carry on then.
Yeah, okay. Okay. It's also good to know the advantages and disadvantages of the methods you choose. Whichever one and you can find that in chapter 5 of the book that I asked you to get, which is Gravels. Okay, it's on chapter 5 over there. It lists a whole lot of them. Whichever one you use, you need to be carefully considered and planned into your lesson, because sometimes we just choose, I've known people just choose any without perhaps giving a careful thought, or because they like that particular learning method, but it has to be carefully planned into our sessions. The strategies chosen should be fit for purpose to enable learning to take place. And it's notable in Table 1 that certain factors can influence the choice of the teaching and learning methods for any particular lesson. For example, the size or the age of the group, which we've been looking at. Lectures are also, I'll leave this. I'll put some stuff on here. But can you think of other factors that can affect the choice of the strategy that you choose, sorry. Can you think of other factors? We talked about the ability of the students, their age group.
The interest of it.
Pardon?
Interest.
Their interest, okay, that's good. Anything else? You're saying something, Sister Sandra, but you're not saying it loud. What about the learning outcomes? Okay? What you want to do can actually dictate, or actually does dictate what learning methods you actually choose. For example, if you want your student to learn a particular skill, a motor skill, demonstration will be more appropriate than discussion about it. Yes? Okay, so your learning outcomes is a determinant as well. What about where it's going to take place? It's, for example, difficult to do group work in a church where it's all pews, you got nowhere else, or in a room, you got nowhere else. All you have is benches for the students to sit on. And it's quite hard to do group work like that. Whereas when you have the single chairs, it's easier to move them around and to put them in groups. And that goes for both adults as well as children. Also, learning preferences determine what you choose, and the amount of time you got. For example, I wanted to go through this whole thing. I can't go through all of them. We'll try to move on because of the time factor. Yeah? Okay, so I'm saying go and research the rest, which is also part of a teaching method and learning methods. All right? Now, resources, which is we go on to you now, Sister Sandra. You talked about tools that you need, okay? There are resources. The answer you gave earlier on, there are resources. So it's like something that is available that can be used to support or help. And normally they are used to help with the learning process, okay? Can you think about and list any learning resources that you know of? Our number one will be our Bible, obviously. All right, Sis from Sunderland, what are you holding? Oh, I thought you were trying to show me something.
Oh,
Pardon?
sorry, no.
I didn't hear that.
I said sorry, no.
Oh, okay, that's all right. Okay, so our Holy Bible, anything else? Other resources?
CD and DVDs.
CD and DVDs, that's good. You can write these down. You've got a gap there to fill in the gaps there. What about Bible maps? Word search. Bible story maze.
Audio tape and radio.
Pardon?
Audio
Did I hear radio? Yes? Why not? What about craft? Toys? Puppets? Can you think of others?
Images.
Good. Excellent. Any more? NBC, are you there? I haven't heard from you at all. What about videos, PowerPoint? There are resources. Yes? And I believe and know that you'll be using all of these. What about Bible concordance?
Yes.
All right. Any others?
Any textbooks or dictionaries or anything like that?
Yes. They're all tools and objects and stuff and aids, teaching aids that you can think of. Computers, the blackboard, the whiteboard, the flip charts. Overhead projectors. I'm an old school girl, right? I love them. So long as we have the projector I don't even need the screen. You can project it onto a wall. Yes, and you can get the information typed also nicely on. You have some that you can print onto. Others you have to write by hand. I love them both. Okay, so long as they are available, it's good. Any others? What about cards? I've got some. And then posters. I don't know what I've done with them now. Also, apart from your other ordinary Bible, I don't know if you've seen, these before. They're really good on CDs. They're fantastic. So for people who don't like reading, they can just listen to them. Printers, Skype, like we're using now, flannel, sticky magnetic boards, flip charts. Yeah, those are your resources. What about Bible tools? They're really fantastic. There's some wonderful Bible tools online. I don't know if you've heard about it. Blue Word Bible online. You can access different translations in there. Personally, I prefer the King James for very good reasons. Okay, you can access it within there, and it gives you a whole lot of information. If you type in just one word, it will bring a whole. It's like a concordance, and it will link you to other stuff like the lexicon, Bible dictionary. Is really very good. Try it out for yourself, and you can introduce your students to it as well. There's also Bible summaries. Now, so those are just a few resources. I'm sure there are a whole lot more that some of you probably use as well, that I don't use and others don't use. And we kind of learn from each other. It's always good as teachers, especially when we're new, even when we're not new as teachers, always talk to others, observe others, see what they're doing. They might be using some other stuff that you've never seen before. And it's like, oh, that looks awesome. I want to use that. And you just observe how they use it. You can even talk to it. You don't lose anything. You don't lose your dignity. You don't lose anything. If anything, it's going to make your teaching better. I love doing that. It's going to make your teaching better. So it's always good to share ideas. So what we just done, in a sense, we're sharing ideas. And yeah, I've got overwhelming lots of years of experience. I'm sure some of you have as well in teaching. But it's good to actually share, It's good to share. I'll never stop learning. Always learning. All right? Now, there are also factors that affect the choice of the learning resources and visual aids that we choose. Can you think of some of them? Again, the teaching strategies that we choose would determine, right? If I want to use PowerPoint slides, obviously I'm going to have to need the projector and all sorts of. Does that make sense? It's that straightforward. So the teaching strategies that we choose determine what resources we're going to need. Practical design constraints can actually be factors as well. If you have a small room or a room with benches, we've already mentioned that, it determines what you can and cannot do in that room. Also the lighting in the room, learner's preference and style. Okay. Now we've got a couple of minutes. What I want to point out from the information discussed today, can you give an example of how you might facilitate a class with on the topic of the Lordship for a class of 5 children aged 6 to 8, as opposed to teaching the same subject to 14 to 16 years old? Would you do it differently? Anybody? Any ideas? Nobody want to talk? Application of the information now. Nobody? Okay. Again, because of time, find time to look at and write down, how you might do this. Yeah? How you might do this. Just for your own learning. Okay. The ideal choice, obviously, would be also when choosing strategies to use for teaching, to have a combination of all the different accommodation that support all the different learning styles. Now, giving examples of what, people tend to like. If they are, for example, visual learners or auditory learners, reading learners, or kind of aesthetic learners. And we have to remember the fact that you retain and remember 10% of what you read yourself, 20% of what you hear, and 30% of what you see, 50% of what you see and hear. So it's important that you have a combination. You also have, remember 70% of what you say yourself, and 90% of what you say and do. All right? So all that we need to take into account when selecting. And then when we prepare resources, they need to be simple, to the point, interesting, and accessible, and inclusive for all. Taking into account people with hearing and visual impairments, people with dyslexia, people with physical and mental disability, okay? Because we have to make it inclusive. We have to make it inclusive. And a well-designed aid should really promote understanding, help reinforcement, aid retention, and motivate, as well as provide a variety in learning, okay? When it comes to that, I really love making my own resources. Sometimes I'll get them from the internet or from books and that, but most of the time, I just think about how best can I do this and create them, okay? Sister, I don't know your name, from Sutherland, you wanted to ask a question?
Yes, what it was you were talking about a book called Gravels 240?
Yeah, Gravels, yeah.
Yeah. Did we meant to buy that ourselves, or were we meant to get it from Bible school, or?
Well, I don't provide the books for students, I'm afraid.
So am I going by that, yeah?
Pardon? You can if you want to.
Yeah. And as well, this has been the first lesson that I've been able to hear, and the signal strength and everything like that. So I want to just double check about homework, is that alright?
Say that again.
This has been the first lesson. We're not able to hear you because the signal strength on Skype.
Okay.
And I just want to double check the homework, is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
So what homework do I need to hand in this month? Was the
This month?
Yeah.
None. If you kindly look on your syllabus,
Yeah, I've got it here.
it tells you what days to hand in assignments. I've been
Right.
very specific, yeah.
Right,
And
so I need to start planning the Bible lesson, yeah?
yeah, there'll be 4. Sorry, I don't have my syllabus with me here and now. But if you have it on the your towards in the last column,
Yeah,
there should be dates there. I sent you an updated one because I think there was one with that tells you you should have have done a home Bible lesson by April. It should be before May, not before April.
and how do I show you that I've done that? Am I meant to send you the work that I've did on paper, or?
Yes, you have all the other assignments. What we'll be doing with them at the bottom of your syllabus. Can you have a look?
Yeah,
It tells you what we'll be doing on the days. For the Bible home Bible study, conduct a home Bible study using some information from either the word. I think I haven't got it with me here.
right, okay, that's fine, thank you.
Yeah, and then when you've done that, there will be a day that you present it to
Right.
the rest of the group, but in a summarized version, because you only have like 10 minutes.
So a summarised version of what I've done?
Yeah, for the home Bible study, because you may have taught it over 30 minutes or over 45 minutes or an hour. But on the day when you present that to the rest of the class, all you're doing is just giving an overview of that one. But there's one assignment. I haven't got it in front of me since you asked me this question. So I'm just thinking from the top of my head now. Okay, but there's one assignment where you'll be actually teaching in class for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's got micro teaching. Yeah, that is also on a specific date. I'll be putting you in groups, right? You'll be either in group 1 or group 2. The day group 1 present on here,
Yeah.
group 2 will be sharing their Bible studies, yes, in a different room. I have already asked one of the teachers from HBC, she said she'll be available if I need to oversee that, okay? And then the following month, the other group will be sharing their Bibles, home Bible study, and the other group will be presenting.
Great.
So, yeah?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But there's also one assignment that I need a little more detailed work in that I've given you a template to follow. With all the assignment, I want you to use the template I've given you, okay? But it doesn't matter if it all goes wrong. It's the fact that you've had a good try using it, okay?
Yeah.
You're not been training to become, qualified teachers as such, It's just, we want to be more effective.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, and I know that you've already been teaching, but probably not necessarily as a qualified teacher, but hopefully with this kind of sessions, you'll be able to, we'll all become more effective. We're sharing ideas together. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some respect there. But for that first assignment 1, I want a more detailed content of that. I want to see, I would like to be able to see the way you move from one topic to another within the session, within that lesson plan. It's all, you're not going to present that to me, you will have to send that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah? You got my email address.
Yes.
But if there's issues with that, then obviously, if you would like to send them send them to HBC, and then they can send it to me to my address, and I'll mark them.
Great, thank you.
All right. So please have a look at the dates, and make sure you please submit the work on those days. There's also public speaking assignment where you talk about yourself. That one is only 3 minutes. We'll all be able to fit in that. And that should be easy, right? So that one should be, it could be a testimony. It's up to what you want to share. Remember, it's going on YouTube. So it's up to what you want to share. Yeah?
Yes.
For that one. Is that okay?
Yes, that's great, thank you.
Any other questions? I also want you to feel free to please contact me. Even as you're preparing the lessons, I don't mind at all. Like when you write your aims and lesson outcomes, I want to see them. I want to make sure they're on the right lines. I want to give you that support. It's entirely up to you, although I prefer to see it before it's finalized. Yeah? So please feel free to do that. Love you all. Can we please, Sister Sandra, can you please close us in prayer? We can't hear you. Sister Sandra, are you praying?
I'm trying to unmute it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Thank you, Father, that we have had this opportunity to learn more and to excel, because that's what you want from us, God. And you want us to do our best and to present the gospel clearly and to do things with excellence. So we thank you, Lord Jesus, for this opportunity. We bless you, God, for all that we've learned, and you help us to retain the information, Lord, and to start practicing what we've learned today. We thank you for everything. We just bless your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Joanne. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sister Joanne.
You're welcome.
Cheers.